I see relationships as a union of two frequencies that are both walking their own path through life. You can almost think of a relationship as being a ladder. You have two paths that run parallel to each other, and between the two paths are the rungs that connect the two paths together. If the ladder's sturdy and the paths remain true, then you can climb this ladder to infinite heights of consciousness. But once one frequency starts to control the other frequency, the paths become too conjoined and convoluted, and the ladder fails, and there's nowhere to then string the rungs between the two paths. So the relationship and each frequency and each path fails to climb any higher. It's very important to be supportive of the path of the one that you've chosen to share your life with. If you choose to share a path through life with someone else, it's very important that you support their path by allowing them to walk their path. You don't actually have to control it for them. They will walk it for themselves. But you have to allow them to be themselves to the fullest of their potential. And you have to be yourself and be true to yourself to the fullest of your potential. Because ultimately all you have when you leave this earth is the resonant frequency that is yourself. So if we can apply this to ourselves and apply this to our relationships and apply this then to society at large, we can literally change the world. Realize that everybody is on their path. Be supportive of their path. Realize they are just like you. Treat them as yourself. Every person, every man, every woman, every child. And if people did this, we wouldn't even need a military. We wouldn't even need government. We wouldn't need any of it. We could manage ourselves simply by treating each other as ourselves and by following the one law of service to the creation. And it's really that simple, folks. You see, if people had this understanding, we wouldn't have all these criminal cabals in charge of the world. We wouldn't have all of these wars, because if people had a proper understanding of reality, they would want to help other people on their path through life, and so they wouldn't join the military to begin with. Because blowing someone up or shooting them is certainly not helping them on their path through life. And you wouldn't be able to have corrupt individuals like Dick Cheney and the neocon crew that did their best to destroy the world in the first half of the last decade, because all of the people around them would perceive the actions of these type of criminals for what they are, and they wouldn't help them. You see, all of it, all the problems, folks, it's all based on a misconception of reality. Our governments only do what they do and get away with what they do because the people within the governments have a complete misconception of reality, and the citizens of our nations think the system is real, so they have a complete misconception of reality. Everybody operates in left brain instead of both sides of the brain. Everybody works in a state of service to themselves rather than service to the creation. And so the obvious and the very predictable result is to find ourselves in a world such as the one we currently inhabit. Now we can choose to lay the blame for this situation on anything that we like. We can blame it on the system that has trained people to act in this manner. We can blame it on ourselves and say it's humanity's fault for not stepping into their power. We've allowed it to be done around us. And to a certain extent, both of these things are true. But ultimately, it doesn't matter how we got here. It doesn't matter who's to blame. It doesn't matter what bad things humanity or the government has done in the past. What matters is what we do from this moment forward. We can forget about all the mistakes that we made by simply moving forward from this point with the right attitude. Forget about the mistakes. Don't dwell on past grievances, because it's not going to make them go away. It's not going to make them any better. If you dwell too much on the past, you'll find that you miss out on the future, because you sat there brooding over past grievances and past transgressions. What we need to do as a species is to move forward from this point. We can choose any time we want to open up the knowledge of our right brain. We can choose to view the world from a different perspective. We can look at things energetically. We can choose to serve the creation, to serve each other, to love each other, and to love ourselves. We can choose to make the world the place that we would like it to be, and we can do it any time we want. We can choose to realize that the system is fictional. The legal and political system only exists on paper, and the social system, the class division, the social hierarchy, is simply a meme. Because what actually exists is people. Beautiful, wonderful people. All who have so much potential and so much to offer to each other. If they were simply educated in the true nature of reality and were nurtured and allowed to be all that they could be. So I feel it's about time humankind woke up to what type of world we are creating for ourselves and what type of world we have the possibility of creating for ourselves. And it starts at home, folks. Understand what reality is. Start serving the creation. Start helping your neighbours. Build community. And it will spread out from there. Well, I think we're getting close to the end of the show here now, folks, and so that's probably about it for me for the day anyway. I know I've probably gone off on a few tangents today, so thank you very much for bearing with me in my meanderings. In fact, I'm deeply honoured that you all listen to the show at all. It really is an honour to be able to speak to so many people, and it really is an honour to receive the emails and the support that you all show me. Life really is fascinating, folks, and it's an awfully exciting time to be alive if you look at it through the right eyes. There is, of course, an awful lot of concerning things happening around the planet, the earthquakes that we're seeing, the situation in Japan, the war in Libya, the war in Iraq, all the wars and confrontations that seem to be escalating all over the place. It's all a concern, but it's still an awfully good time to be alive because all of this negative stuff gives us the opportunity to make it positive. It gives us the opportunity to see exactly what type of world we are creating and we are allowing to be created. And so this gives us the opportunity to create something quite different. So let's all embrace this opportunity, folks. It's time for peaceful rebellion. It's time for lawful and peaceful rebellion. It's time for the human race to realize the connection we have to each other and to come back into their true power. And it truly is a wonderful and fascinating time to be alive. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you again today, folks, but that is the end for me now. I'll look forward to speaking to you again next week. Take care until then. In Lakesh.